NPH. Leaders in Canadian basketball.
This is Tariq Sbiet of NorthPoleHoops.com, and joined with me is head coach of Team Canada, Mr. Leo Rautins. Leo, we're at the McDonald's All-American event here. Talk about the three Canadians in this event and what it means. First of all, last event we had Tristan Thompson and Corey Joseph, of course. This time around we make history again and get three Canadians. What does it mean for the game in the country?
Well, the interesting part is we could have more than three. There's a good deal of players that belong here and can play at this level. As far as the guys that are here, you have three very, very good players. Mike Kabongo, he's as explosive and talented as a point guard as there is here in North America. His potential's unlimited. He's got a great personality. He's a good basketball personality. He can walk in, work a room. He can work a locker room. He's just a tremendous talent. Kyle Wilcher is a player he's a unique player. At his size, he can really shoot the ball. Won the three-point contest here and didn't even shoot the ball that well. He shoots a lot better than that. But he's a high IQ guy. He just really understands how to play the game. Fits in any situation. He's a guy that he's kind of like one of those European guys that come and play in the NBA. They can shoot but know how to play the game. That's his style. Also has good basketball genes. His old man played many years for Canada. Also drafted in the NBA. Greg. And then Kem Birch. Kem's a sneaky type of player. Almost gives you that sleepy look to him, but he's explosive. I mean, you don't think he's doing much, and all of a sudden his elbows are over the rim, either dunking, getting an offensive rebound, blocking a shot. I think that at his size, once he really starts, putting the ball on the floor and working on his shot, his upside could be tremendous, because I don't even think he's scratching the surface yet, and he's one of the top-ranked players without even being anywhere close to what I think he's going to get to. And I think going to Pitt, obviously Jamie Dixon's a tremendous coach at Pitt, so he's got a great opportunity to develop there.
Now we had the selection for the guys at the Hoop Summit, and some of those guys were. The guys that were selected were Kyle Wilcher, as well as Kevin Pangos, which the Americans don't really know much about in comparison to the others. And then we have head coach Roy Rana, who's coach of Ryerson University, but as well he will be coaching the world team. So, and there was, of course, a lot of debate about the players and if they have the right to be selected there and whatnot. And Zach Cooper from the Fan 590 had a chance to set the record straight with Roy Rana on the radio, and we kind of just want to get your thoughts on the players that should have been going. But there's so much talent nowadays
That's the thing. I think, first of all, there was no controversy. That was fabricated, because Roy Rana has absolutely nothing to do with the selection process. Zero. Nor does Canada basketball. So these are events that they have their own selection committees. How they do it, I don't even know. I don't care to ask. But they do it their way. And I think that there's always a concern that we don't want to have 15 Canadians here, and it's not Canada. It's like we wouldn't want 15 Italians here. We just it's their event. They can do it any way they want to do it. So this controversy was fabricated, which shouldn't have happened, and it's unfortunate too, because it puts I think it gives a different perception to Kabongo, who feels slighted, whereas he shouldn't feel slighted, because they made a choice. Everybody knows you're one of the top guys, and it's not a knock on you. And then it's tough for Kevin Pangos, who's like Mike. Kevin's a very talented player. A lot of the Americans don't understand who Kevin is, but Kevin is a tremendous player. He knows how to play the game. He's very smart. He's a top quality point guard that I think is making an impact, right away in college basketball. So the fact that we have all these guys, the fact that we can put more guys than they have on these teams, is a great statement. But there is no controversy, and there should never have been one. And it's kind of sad that, for whatever people are trying to make a story, they make one out of something. Yes. And it's misleading to the players that have to read it and maybe react to it in a negative way.
For me, it's a positive thing when you have, and Michael Grange from the Globe and Mail touched on it, when you have the competition and the players being selected on these type of events. I mean, for me, Kevin Pangos being selected is just as great as Mike Kabongo. So for me, I think it's a compliment to the talent in our country and the fact that, you know, several players can be selected and of the same caliber. Don't you agree?
No question about it. I mean, it is a compliment, the fact that there have to be decisions made on which Canadians to pick and which ones to leave out. I mean, it's, hey, there was a time where there was no decisions on any Canadian, so the fact that you have to now worry about, you know, is it this one or is it that one, that's a good thing. And I don't think the players need to get involved in that. Obviously, players want to play in everything, but they still have enough events to play in. Again, it is without a doubt, it's a credit to all these kids, the work they put in, and I think more and more people are going to realize just how good some of these kids are.
Switching gears to the senior national team, of course. First of all, talking a little bit about all this on the amateur level, all this talent on the amateur level, on the grassroots level. How exciting is it for you as a coach, knowing that these young guys are coming up and they're going to be replacing the senior guys? You know, we've had our struggles on the senior side of things because, simply put, we can't match up with in terms of talent.
Yep.
So with now these young guys coming up, I know the guys in the inner circle know what's going on and know the talent that's on the rise. How exciting is it for you to, you know, see all this come along and know that these guys are going to be representing your team?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. You know, one of the things I've tried to do is be young and get younger and get guys experience, because I think that's where our future is. So the reality is we haven't had enough talent to compete at that level, as you stated. So, you know, to get there is the most important thing. And so we're looking at definitely a lot of these young kids to replace some of the guys we have. Yeah, I think you keep a core, and we have, I think, a good core of guys that have experience, that know how to play, you know, that have enough talent. And now you add some of these younger guys that give you talent, give you energy, give you athleticism, and hopefully the key now is to give them experience. Because as you know, if you watch a lot of international basketball, you know, the rest of the world not only has talent, but they have experience. And that's a big plus, because you can have all the talent you want, but if you don't have the experience, you can't compete at that level. So, you know, we need to get, you know, the Kabongos, the Josephs, the Pangos, the Thompsons, all these players involved and integrated as soon as possible, and that way the sooner we have success. So the nice thing is that a lot of these players have had touches with the national program, whether it be the cadet, the junior, some with the development. I've had an opportunity to have Pangos, Kabongo, and Tristan, Dwight Powell in senior camp. You know, and Pangos and Kabongo made a tour with our development team with me, which was great, because these kids get that feel, and they also get to see the difference, the level, which it's not college, it's much more physical. It's a different game. So the fact that they can get those touches is great, and but it's great for us, and we just want to get these kids involved and keep growing it and get back to where we should. You know, we used to be among the top 10 in the world, and that's where we got to get back to.
In closing, for those of you in Canada worried about the state of basketball, Leo, what do you have to say for, you know, the fans out there who might be a little bit hesitant based on our results, previous results with the senior team? What do you have to say to Canada and let them know, reassure them that we're good to go?
We have nothing to worry about. We're developing players and we're coming along, and again, we're going to be back to the top of the world where we belong.
There you have it. That was Leo Rautins, head coach of Team Canada, and this was Tariq Sbiet from NorthPoleHoops.com.
NPH. Leaders in Canadian basketball.